They are the various versions, and within the breath which we are going to do now, within that again there are so many versions. It's not that one is correct and others wrong. All are correct, provided they all come from a very standard, genuine the traditions. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we focus on a tiny dot, 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter, tiny white dot, which should be visualized between the nose and upper lip. So there we're going to visualize the tiny dot and multitasking. While you focus your mind there on this tiny dot between the nose and upper lip, count a breath. Breath in, breath out. Cycle 1, breath in, breath out. Cycle 2, we're going to count the breath simultaneously. And don't just say that I cannot do both on day 1. We have to continue to practice this, and if you find it very difficult, even at the day 7, then we have to consider. If you find it difficult at day 7 meaning day 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 7 days, 1 week, still you find it difficult, then you go for 1. Perhaps what I would suggest you is you go for just counting the breath rather than visualization. Whereas if you can do both, this is a tremendous benefit. Okay, so this is a focal point what we're going to do. Then number 3 is identifying the errors of meditation. Errors of meditation, they are twofold. What are they? What are the 2 errors? Mental laxity and mental excitement. So these are the 2 errors. One, the mind is overly active, mental excitement. Other one is the mind is overly passive, meaning that the mind is the sinking. Mind feels lethargic, heavy, inserviceable, torpor. So this is what we're going to do. Should any of these 2 problems happen, no need to freak, just apply the remedies. Go for number 4, remedies. And the remedies too, what are they? Introspection and mindfulness. Very good. Introspection, mindfulness. So introspection is saying the best you can understand this is with the help of the analogy. Imagine your pet dog. You lost a pet dog. First, your job is to go and search the pet dog. So that is introspection. Once with the introspection you find a pet dog, then the job of the introspection is done. Next, the job of the rope. Tie the dog with the rope and bring it back home and try to peel it at home. Likewise, your mind, which should be meditating, that is like a pet dog, and sometimes this mind is still meditating, it gets distracted, or it is feeling sleepy. So any of these 2 things happen, then what we have to do is that you see that is happening is the application of introspection. Once you find that your mind is under any of these 2 errors, then your job is to apply the remedy of the mindfulness. Bring the mind back to the intended object of the meditation. Okay, this is what we'll do for 5 minutes. Ready? as the Buddha indicated, that you are the master of yourself, and who else is there to master? The one who tames one's mind and reaches to enlightenment, this, he or she, is the wise one. So the point is, what we indicated yesterday, that finally, whether you are Buddhist, not Buddhist, this is not the question. Whether you are, let's say, whether you are, say, male or female, this is not a question. Whether you are old, young, this is not a question. The question is 2 points: be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Okay, these are the 2 agendas of your life. This should be our agendas of life. And if you agree, in fact, I would say that except for few, most of us will 100% guarantee that they will agree with these 2 agendas. So there may be 1 or 2, I don't know, right? There could be. Otherwise, we all agree with these 2 points, that I should be kind to myself and I should be wisely kind to myself. And there could be some people who may say that, okay, this is a very selfish agenda. I should be kind to myself. I should be wisely kind to myself. We don't talk about helping others. Okay. Why? Here, explicitly, what we say is that I should be wisely kind to myself. And implicitly, you'll discover that the wisest way by which to be kind to yourself is to be kind to others. So eventually, you will come to discover that being kind to others, being kind to yourself, these 2 are synonymous at a higher level. So wisely kind to yourself means to engage in things which will give you a more profound happiness, which will more profoundly get rid of your suffering and so forth. So all these things happen by the wisdom of emptiness and the other cherished mind. So these 2 minds. So for somebody who is quite matured in this thinking of to be wisely kind to yourself, one realizes that being kind to yourself and being kind to others, these 2 are synonymous. These 2 are synonymous. For the beginners like us, who are very beginner in this path, we see that these 2 are very different. To be kind to yourself means you have to sacrifice others. To be kind to others means you have to sacrifice yourself. But it is not true. Particularly as you delve into this path of being wisely kind to yourself, you realize that these 2 are synonymous. Okay. So, how these 2 are synonymous? Since we don't have time, I'm going to give it in a very gist form, and our job is to explore further, and then look for other sources to study more on this. Say, to be kind to yourself is look for what you want, what you don't want. We say that, particularly all of us, very likely 99% of the people here, you have received the maximum love from your mother when you were age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then the conflict with the parents may start at age 14, 15, 16. My mother is so overprotective, right? Hey, my daughter, where are you, right? Mom, right? So you feel so disturbed, right? Hey, my son, where are you, right? It's already 5 o'clock, you should come. Then you feel so disturbed, you have lots of the privacy. Okay, so that is after age 14, 15, 16, right? Before that, we are heavily dependent on the love and affection of parents. Okay, so we see that at that point, when we needed the parents the most, we say that my mother is the most kind person, my father is the most kind person on this earth. Why do we say that my father is most kind to you, my mother is most kind to me? Why do we say this? Because my father, my mother, my parents, they are the ones who get rid of all my fears. They are the ones who give me the maximum happiness. So what do you want? To be kind to yourself means to get rid of your fears and acquire the maximum happiness. Give yourself the maximum happiness. This idea. But how can we do that? This next question, right? Everybody wants to do that, but how can we do that? So that is either by following an unwise method or by following a wise method. If you follow an unwise method, it will only drain you into miseries, more miseries and less happiness. You follow a wise method, to be wisely kind to yourself, number 2. That will take you to less and less fear and more happiness. And finally, fear, to put it in the summary form, the fear is rooted to the self-grasping ignorance. The moment you cut the self-grasping ignorance, all your fears, miseries, anxiety all disappear. And of course, there are so nowadays the number of people who are having anxiety attack, and these things is really increasing. For that matter, if somebody can really be trained in the wisdom of emptiness, this will greatly help you to remove your anxiety and so forth. Right? Okay. Anxiety, stress, depression, they're all to do with the feelings. Yesterday we briefly touched that area. All our movements, physical, verbal and mental, if not 100%, 99% of all our movements, say expressing anxiety is also one form of movement. That is also determined by the feeling. So our feelings determine almost like 99.9% of all our actions. So whether you're going to be depressed, stressed, intention, anxiety, or the anguish and so forth, this is all determined by the feelings. So the feeling, the unpleasant feeling, all are somehow connected with the self-grasping ignorance. So there are 2 things. One is the cognitive side of your mind, and the other one is the affective side of the mind. Cognitive and the affective side. So finally what drives is the affective side. Affective side, like I like this, I don't like this, I'm afraid. These are all the affective side. So this affective side is driven by underneath the affective side is a feeling. And the feelings are triggered on the basis of the cognitive side of the mind. So the cognitive side of the mind, cognitive element of the mind, that is at the base. So that triggers the various feelings, and these feelings trigger the various movements of the body, speech and mind. Whether you're going to be depressed, stressed, intention, or happy, or relaxation, so forth, that is all determined by the various feelings. Okay, so in short, if you really, and we never know, we can be in a situation of very difficult situation. So when these things happen, then okay, these things can happen even to me also. So, because these things can happen, the tragedies can happen to us, we should be prepared from now on. And preparation is not something that we can do overnight. This requires time. For that matter, the wisdom of emptiness is the best panacea to heal all these problems, right? The wisdom of emptiness. If you can think of the wisdom of emptiness, study it more broadly, extensively, and then reflect on the meanings to the best you can. Then, over time, say you may not feel the overnight change, but you will see a deep change happening from deep inside. That later on at one point, that the same situation which earlier would trigger agitation within you, now agitation doesn't arise. You will be so fascinated to see this experience happening to you, right? So this is all because of the build-up of the experience of emptiness, like the enriching yourself with a study, reflection, meditation, emptiness. This is one thing. Number 2, the happiness that a young child gets from the parents, this happiness. Likewise, the best way by which to give yourself the maximum happiness is by enriching your compassion. And compassion is not just, okay, I'm already very compassionate, this is not sufficient. Compassion, there are so many degrees. Right? Say for example, say somebody who is very hungry in the street, a young child, very hungry. So, and some people, they may go to the extent of even crying, feeling such a sympathy and compassion towards the child. may even go to the extent of say giving up, say that day. You may not even go to your work, and then you take care of this child. Okay, so we ordinary people describe that person very compassionate, right? Now compassion is so many degrees. For example, say you as a very young girl, say age say 7 or 8, and you as a very young boy, age 6 or 7, and then you see somebody of the same age, another boy or another girl in the street who is terribly sick, hungry, and no place to go. You feel so compassionate, you request your parents to please adopt, right? Because you're moved by compassion. And then everybody will be so fascinated. This young girl, young boy, displays such a powerful compassion. Okay, let's see. By ordinary standard, this is amazing compassion. But let's see. When you speak about the sophisticated compassion, it has so many layers. Okay, now your parents, because of your request, the parents accepted to adopt the child. Right? So now, you as a girl, you have another sister. You as a boy, you have another brother. Right? Okay, both of you go to the same school now. And other boy or the other girl is very brilliant. Is very brilliant. And the school teacher, school principal, and everyone is paying so much attention to your brother, to your sister, not as much to you. Okay, still you are very happy. I'm proud of my brother, I'm proud of my sister. Fine. Right? Then you graduate class 10, graduate class 12, then finish the national service, and then go to university, right? Okay, university. So you, because of your grade, you're not qualified for good universities, right? And because of your brother, your sister, she's doing excellently, amazingly brilliant, that he or she got a full scholarship in Harvard University, Cambridge University, Oxford University, full scholarship, right? And your parents are so eager, right? Even if the scholarship is not there, I'm eager to pay, right? Okay, now you might not have compassion, you might have jealousy. You're getting it? Now, this is how we test the degree of the compassion. Simply because you see somebody suffering, hunger and so manifest suffering, you cannot control the tears, and then you manifest such a compassion. This doesn't mean that it is a profoundly compassionate. There are so many degrees of compassion. Okay, the point is degrees of compassion, degrees of love and affection, right? Okay, more the conditions are laid, more superficial the love and affection. Less the condition is laid, more deeper is your compassion, right? In other words, unconditional love, unconditional compassion. The more you practice this, more happy you are. It's very strange. The more you practice unconditional love, more happy you are. So therefore I said that to be wisely kind to yourself is to be wisely kind to others. These two are synonymous, right? The more compassionate you are towards others, more happy you are. What you seek is your happiness, and this is what you're getting from being kind to others. So at that level, to be kind to others is to be kind to yourself. To be kind to yourself is to be kind to others. These two are synonymous. Okay, this one will experience as we go along this practice, and there are systematic steps. It's not that I'll practice this, and then I'm going to be compassionate. Just by making this commitment doesn't help us. So we need to follow the steps. There are two methods for this matter. There are two methods. The method of equalizing and exchanging self others, and the sevenfold cosmic method. So there are two methods which we're going to study in, I'm not too sure whether we can do in more detail during the 5-day retreat, but for sure, somebody who's interested in this, all these recordings are available in bodhiwisdom.org, www.bodhiwisdom.org. All these recordings are available from there. www.bodhiwisdom.org. So this I mentioned yesterday. Okay, So there are two methods to cultivate that, and the wisdom of emptiness again you have to study very separately and extensively. Okay, so with this in mind, what we are trying to say here is don't forget this. Finally, I should be kind to myself and I should be wisely kind to myself. This, what the Buddha said, is that you are the master of yourself. Who else is there as your master? The one who tames one's mind and achieves liberation is the wise person. Okay. With this, then what we were doing yesterday was with the how. How do you do that? How to do that is by eradicating all the misconceptions, ignorance. And the misconceptions, ignorance can best be eradicated by identifying them so well on the basis of what is known as the 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings, and on the basis of the 4 mindfulness, application of mindfulnesses taught by the Buddha. Okay, so pertaining to the 4 seals, we were doing this one. And by the way, what are the 4 seals of the Buddha's teaching? Anyone? All composite things impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. And number 3, everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Number 4, transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Right? Okay, the 4 seals. Okay. All composite things are impermanent, which we did. All contaminated things are suffering nature, which we did. And everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Number 3, everything. How to get rid of all these miseries, all contaminated things are suffering nature. As long as something is wrong with the mind, we'll never have peace of mind, right? So it is like, say, let's say that the okay, who's the manager for this program? Who's the manager of this program here? Shahar, right? Okay, Shah is not only male, both male and female. Yes. Okay, so the Shah says that okay, now we will all go for pilgrimage. She's going to take us all for pilgrimage to Mount Kailash, and she wants us that Mount Kailash, there, because of the sun glare, right? Your eyes can be affected. So he takes us to buy goggles, spectacles, right? Okay. And because it's a huge group, he divides this into 2 groups, right? Group A and Group B. Yesterday we divided them already. Again different. Okay. From here, Inbal, your name? Tiferet. Okay. Tiferet, straight. Okay. This is Group A and Group B, right? Group A and Group B. So, Shah take Group A in one shot, and okay, Dana takes the Group B to the next shot, right? Okay. So unfortunately, the 2 shops, from where they got the goggles factories, they're different quality, right? This Group A's shop happened to be high quality, right? It's so clean, and the Group B's goggles are not so clean, right? Okay, then the Shah takes us all to Mount Kailash, and Shah tells us that Mount Kailash is a very, very holy place and extremely, exquisitely beautiful, right? So we are all excited. How many of you have seen Mount Kailash? How many of you been there? 1. How many have been there to Mount Kailash? Okay, 1. Huh? Okay, no, only 1 person, right? Been there. Okay, which means that we all have to listen to Shah, right? Shah, whatever Shah tells, we have to believe in her. So Shah tells us that Mount Kailash is a very holy place and it is exquisitely beautiful. Yet we might be careful with the sun glare from the snow, right? Okay, so put in the glasses, don't remove that. Okay, we all go there, right? All of us were expecting it to be so beautiful. What is beautiful about the snow? It's so clean, right? We go there and Group A so fascinating. Wow, it's so beautiful. It's so